just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Hey, welcome to the HVAC Guide Live Show, where we talk about all things HVAC that no one is talking about. My name is Josh, and we will be answering your questions live. Sometimes we're joined by other pros in the chat that might know answers to questions that I don't, so feel free to drop those. Not that hard to stump me, let's just be honest. Tonight, we do have a special guest who is an expert in the HVAC industry, but before we bring on Tad, let's take a moment for a few housekeeping matters. The first thing is, this is the second to last show that you will see this live fat face on the original channel. The original channel is not going anywhere, but we realized for a number of reasons, the live show has to have its own home. And so we're moving everything. We're moving all the live stuff. We're moving the live stream, all of that to its own channel called the HVAC Guide Live Show channel. And I really do, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate all the support, all of you that join us, weekly, and just make sure you're subscribed to the new channel. If you're not, I won't pop up on your alerts and all that stuff. So if you subscribe to that channel, I think there's a bell you can click there too, but just make sure you're subscribed to the new channel, because next week, it's this week and then next week, and then we ain't here no more. We will not be showing up on the original homeowner HVAC Guide for Homeowners YouTube channel. Live show has its own home now. Make sure you're subscribed to that. The next thing I want to highlight is we've got a really cool guest. Tonight's guest is really cool. He's one of the funnest guys. He's been on our show before, and I love having him. But I think I even have to say, as cool as Tad is, next week's guest might be the coolest. Yeah, I mean, like sometimes when you're hanging out with people and you're like, I don't feel like a big nerd right now. I'm hanging out with some cool people. Next week might be the coolest person I've ever had on our show. Make sure you're here next week at 8:30 p.m. And then finally, do me a favor. Again, I appreciate all the support, but one thing that would really help us out is if you could click the like and the share button, share us to your friends. Hit the like button, hit the share, so this fat face will pop up everywhere. And so we do appreciate that. Last but not least, let's take a moment. I've got a new sponsor we're going to show tonight. Let's take a moment and thank the sponsor of tonight's show. I wanted to take a quick break from the video and thank the sponsor of this video, Copeland, and their line of Sensi thermostats. Energy Star rated, the Sensi Touch 2 can help you save energy with features like flexible scheduling, remote access, and usage reports, allowing you to save an average of 23%. With easy installation, use the built-in level, easy click terminals, and step-by-step app instructions for quick installation. Sensi can help monitor the performance and efficiency of your HVAC system by delivering valuable usage reports, alerts, alerts about your equipment, and maintenance reminders like filter replacement. Other features include smart home compatibility, humidity control, and ability to add a room sensor. I'll put a link down in the description of this video. Now, back to the video. All right, here we go. I saw some of your comments. Emery, I will share the link to the new show in just a moment in the chat, so look for that. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest. Tonight's guest is an expert in the HVAC industry. He's become one who many turn to for advice. He hosts the Taddy Digest YouTube channel, which recently surpassed 100,000 subscribers. His YouTube channel has a lot of unique content not found anywhere else. Tad also offers a membership program, different projects to help others grow in the industry, all while running a successful business. Everyone, please welcome Tad Fuller. Let's go. He's looking at us through the binoculars. What's up, man?
What's going on, brother Joshua?
Appreciate you coming back on. You are, I think, the most requested returned. Cool. Yes, we had so much fun the first time that I remember a few folks, said, hey, have Tad on again. Have Tad on again. I said, all right, no problem. I'll send him a message. So
I received the message. Message received, brother. Listen, I'm going to forgive you for what you said on the introduction about that guy being funner than me. I'm going to forget that. We're going to move forward, okay?
He's not funner than you. I don't think he's funner than you, but he's a very cool guy. I think he's, okay. I play, one thing, a little trivia about me is I play adult league basketball, or at least I did until very recently. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of guys that I play with that I'm like, this guy is just, he's just too cool for me to be hanging out with. Right. I mean, he's just, thanks for hanging out with me. I feel, my level of coolness just went up. And I think this guy next week might be one of those kind of guys.
Good deal, man. Cause I was doing the calculations and I didn't see how that added up there. So
I could be lying. I might be just saying that to get people to come back next week.
I'm going to watch next week. So we'll see. We'll see. He's got pressure. He's got pressure now.
All That's right. No pressure, so no pressure, except lots.
So let me ask you, are you healthy? Are you happy?
I'm pretty happy. I'm looking up this link to share in the chat so everybody can get moved over, can get subscribe to the new channel. I'm pretty happy though. How about you? I heard you're having a lot of changes in your world. I don't know if you want to talk about any of that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I'll talk about everything. Everything that I can provide that's an experience of mine can be, received and can help somebody, because really, you got three things, right? You got ability, which is skill, and you got willingness, and then you got opportunity. And most people, they may not have the ability or the skill yet, but if they've got the willingness, they can get the ability and the skill. And then if they've got the ability, the skill, and the willingness, then they get the opportunity, then it's over, man. You can really make great things happen in your life. So I want to share my experience always, what's going on, the good and the bad, so that they can learn from it, man.
You're like a motivational speaker. I just feel empowered every time I hang out with you.
That's cool. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's cool. So go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, I know one time you and I were talking and you had talked about something you were doing, and I don't know if you ever actually put a name on it, but something you were doing where if somebody wants to learn from you, if they want to learn the trade, they can come see you, that you offer something that they can come to your area. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I own my own business. I've got around 10 employees, co-workers, and I do service every day. I love what I do. So I go out and I do service. I basically just find out what's happening every day. I assess, and then whatever needs to be done, whether it's helping put on parts, because parts just came in, because you know how that is. You
Yep.
know, you go out, you do service calls, it's 95 degrees on Monday, Tuesday, you've ordered parts. It doesn't matter if Wednesday and Thursday you got 20 calls. You know, you got the parts coming in for Monday and Tuesday's calls, so you're going out to do parts. So I'm assessing, I'm figuring out, hey, who needs help? Where do I need to go? Let's do some service. And, you know, recently I opened up and said, hey, I'm going to be teaching, you know, one on one. And I had my first one was from Brooklyn, and his name was Jacob. And he came down for a week. And I actually spent 7 days with him because we went into the weekend. And I spent, you know, from daylight till dark. You know, I get up and start moving around 5:30, and you know, I get to the shop around 6:30, and then, you know, we start business around 7:30, and then we end at 4 or just whenever we can get everybody taken care of. And we spent, you know, about 7 days. I picked him up at the airport in Nashville, and then I took him back, and he went back to Brooklyn, New York, and he did his thing. Since then, I've had several people reach out, and actually, what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing. You just come to my business. You know, what I would like is I would like for you to drive or fly here, and then you show up just like a regular employee. And then, you know, I always go with you after work and spend some more hours because I want to recap the whole day, review what we've done. You got any questions, answer it. Then we get back up, we do it again, because really a week is not enough. Especially for somebody who knows nothing. You know, it's nice to have somebody who does know something, either involved in maintenance or whatever it is. But yeah, I started doing that, and that's nice, because, you know, I do that anyways. When I hire a new technician, I'm always offering training, and usually they're riding with me. Even, you know, the technician I've got now, he's been here for a year and a half, and you know, we went together today because I've got another industrial facility that he's never been to, and there's a certain protocol, and there's a certain, you got to sign in, you got to wear a hard hat, you got to have a vest, you got to have safety glasses, you got to know where everything's at. So I can't just go, hey, go to this place and try to figure out what to do and where everything's at, because but then again, you're going to waste a lot of time. So yeah, so I mean, I'm doing that. That's fun. Haven't had a lot of people do it. I'm thankful for that, because I'm running a business, so it's hard. But I'm
Yeah.
also doing all the other stuff I'm doing. I'm working for like 4 different companies right now, and trying to do my YouTube, which my YouTube is so easy because I don't script anything. I don't think about it. You know, it's just whatever happens during the day. You know, like I got a new dehumidifier the other day, and I was like, because I got this dehumidifier, I'm gonna do a video. So it's for me, it's fun because I don't want to burn out on it like I have burned out on HVAC, or running a business, doing service work. You know, you can burn out on anything, and that's why some people would say, don't take your passion and make it a job or a career. Although I would have to disagree somewhat, because, you know, as long as you pace yourself and you enjoy it and you get results and you work towards results that you want and achieve goals, you'll always be happy. You know, for me, none of my achievements really mean anything to me. So I'm always constantly searching for those results and working. You know, I don't know if you can relate, but I'm sure you can. Right now, tomorrow, if you wake up, you don't really work towards anything, and you don't get any work done, don't have any results, you're probably not going to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I admittedly, I've said before on this show that I actually got burnt out as well as a business owner, but I sometimes look back, if I could have had the benefits of being a business owner and being my own boss, but also be just a service tech, like not have to worry with, you know, poor employees, or like not poor as in money wise. I mean poor as in piss poor, being a good employee or not,
Yeah.
and bad attitudes, or being a punching bag for some customers, then I probably would have never got burnt out. That was the biggest thing for me. There is a guy in the chat that he's asking for do you have a link if they want to sign up for that program that you were talking about, or do they just
Yeah.
email you, or?
So Well, basically, everybody that really wants to get in contact with me, number one, they're becoming a level one member. And anytime they do that, it's only $2, but they'll get my email automatically. It's displayed. So then they can get in contact with me. If they really want to talk to me, then they can become a level four and then they can get my phone number. So they'll email me and they'll go, hey, I'm a level four member. And then I'll go, okay, give me your number. I give them a call immediately. A lot of people do this if they really have a big problem. I've had developers and I've had uh, project managers and homeowners and just all kinds of different people with problems that need help now, and they're able to get in contact with me. So all you have to do is click the join button beside the subscribe button, and you will get a list of membership levels, and then you'll be able to see a description on each level and figure out what is going to meet your needs. So it's right there. Go check out my YouTube channel. Thank you for the question.
Emery wants to know, do you said you do service work and then, he jumped in and said, do you do installs?
Yeah, for sure. I started out when install. I actually started out doing sheet metal work when I was 14. And that's what I cut my teeth on.
Poor guy.
And I did that every summer until I graduated high school. And then, 2 weeks, I remember 2 weeks before I graduated, somebody asked me, what are you going to do, Tad? And I'm like, I don't know, because I hated school. That was one thing that was constant in my life. I hated school. Now I read out of necessity. I said, I don't know. And they said, well, what have you been doing? I'm like, well, I've been doing sheet metal work. So do I do install? I mean, yeah, you can look at my channel. I've installed 2 mini splits in the last couple of weeks on video as a step-by-step guide. Just because I've really gotten into solar lately and I like these solar powered mini splits. So I did a step-by-step guide on that. So yeah, absolutely, man. I'm going from install to service to sales every single day, just trying to manage. There's not enough people in my business to handle the work. I've always done service because there's never been enough people. When I got out of school, there was only one technician at this company because my dad started in 1985. And when I started, my dad fired the guy that was here and for various reasons. And I was the only technician for a while. And when I mean a while, I mean more than a year doing the service and cleans, all of them, doing all of the service work myself. So I know what it's like to be the only person. So yeah, and if you're a business owner, Josh, he knows. He knows. Like you're the person that does everything. And I couldn't imagine you answering the phone, trying to keep the schedule, going on the calls, calling the distributor, trying to get the parts. It's a nightmare. And it never ends, really. I don't want to discourage anybody, but this is the reality. Like if you want to be a business owner, bro, you got to be tough. You literally have to be tough. And you have to go to sleep at night and you got to treat everybody good so that you can go to sleep at night. And then you wake up knowing you did the best you could.
Yeah. I want to switch gears real quick because I did a video recently where I talked about how, Walmart is offering, if you go to their website, you can click, that you want to get, HVAC service. And I talked about in that video.
What?
Yeah. If you want HVAC service,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Horrible. And so, I talk about in that video how, they're just one of many, right? You can go into a Home Depot, you can go into a Costco. I think Amazon even has some program now. Everybody is dipping their toe. They all want a piece of the action being a contractor that's going to do a job for a local homeowner. And that transaction would happen regardless if there was a large company profiting from that relationship in one way or another. So we may disagree on that, on this, and that's okay, because there's different thought processes. I've had people comment on my channel and say, well, that's just capitalism. That's just the way the world turns. People can profit off of that. And so the reason I bring this up is on my channel, I'm trying to go to it so I can show it. I posted a poll, which I don't do a lot of polls, but I was very curious. Am I in the minority on this, or Let's see if I can get this, because sometimes this doesn't work. Share
Yes.
screen.
That's cool. I just made myself wide. Woo!
There he is. I don't
Check out
think
the chat.
my computer's going to do it. If you go to my page, there is a poll, and I'll just
All
say
right.
what it is.
I got it right here on YouTube.
Yeah. I was trying to show it so everyone could see it. But
Is it under your post?
it's in the community tab. It says,
Yeah, I see it. Do you think a company advertising services? Is that it?
yep.
Do you think a company advertising services only to subcontract work to others or get paid for the referral is okay? Do you think a company advertising services only to subcontract work to others to get paid for the referrals? I mean, you're giving people work. What do you mean? I mean, you're giving people work. I mean, listen, as long as the price. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the reality. This is the reality.
Give
All
me the
right. So,
reality.
all right, here's the reality. You want it? So, small companies have to pay less overhead than large companies. All right? Okay, small companies and large companies, they want different types of work. So the large company may have to pay $100,000 in insurance every year just to keep their business open and running. They have to think about that. They have to pay for that. So they may go, well, let's check out this work because we may need this, but is the price going to pay for what we need? And it may not. And they may go, this is not the work for us. But the smaller company or the one man show, he may go, this is exactly the work I've been looking for. Hey, I'm just now starting my business. I really need work. This is exactly what's going to start my business and get me customers. So, is it good for some people? Yes. Is it bad for some people? It's not going to work. Yes, absolutely. So, but here's the thing, like, because I know what people are going to say about this. They're going to be like, you know, uh, and this says yes, no, or only if they're licensed and insured for that service. Well, of course. I mean, you got to be licensed and insured. I mean, bad things can happen if you're not insured, especially insured. License, I mean, if you got to pull a permit, you got to pull a permit, and you got to have a license for that. If you don't, then who cares? Because I know people with license that don't, they don't have a clue what they're doing. But I know that people are going to be like, oh, well, this is cutting the throat of the business owner, or and that's what they're going to say. But there's so much work out there, it's ridiculous. That's number one. Number two is there are companies that have a good name, and they have referral after referral after referral after referral, and they're never going to lose business. It doesn't matter if they shut their business down, the phone's going to keep ringing for 20 years. So it doesn't matter what they're doing, this company advertising services. It doesn't matter what they're doing. There's a lot of work, and there's companies that have a good name. If you want to have a company with a good name, get out there and start working. Boom.
So let me throw a couple angles at you, because I hear everything you're saying. My sentiment has been in other videos. I don't. So there are some states where I cannot go put on the side of my work van electrical services unless I'm a licensed electrician, and I know that there are some states where you can do whatever you want, right? You don't even have to be licensed to do certain things, right? And so the question for me becomes, when you have companies like a Home Advisor or a Walmart, and they are advertising, hey, give us your money, or at least let me profit in some way off of this relationship, when they themselves are not a licensed company. They're not licensed and insured. Walmart's not licensed and insured to do heating and air work. They're simply going to capture that lead, make the contractor pay them for the referral, the lead fee. That's how some do it. Some may put a percentage on top of the job, right? That's how I think Costco may do it. So there's different ways, there's different business models when it comes to this. And I'm not, that's why I made the poll, because I thought, am I in the minority here in having a little bit of I'm not saying I understand capitalism. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about when you're buying a heating and air system, when a mom is buying a heating and air system, it's already expensive enough.
Yeah.
Is it appropriate for someone that knows what you're saying? They know the industry is growing. They know the industry is hard to find good folks, and so they're going to connect the dots that would be connected anyway, and profit off of that. I don't know.
Yeah. When you put it that way, though, is a whole different ball game. Like, I
Uh-huh.
didn't realize that's what you were saying. So when you put it that way, if Walmart is basically taking and just, it depends on the profit they're making, because if they're connecting me with the person that needs heating and cooling, and they're not saying, oh, Walmart is installing your unit. Like, if Walmart is installing the unit, I really don't like that, because they should buy from contractors that are going to be servicing their equipment. Because Walmart, they shouldn't contact Walmart again to go, hey, I need my unit cleaned. Can you send out that robot so they can clean my unit? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not a robot. My name's Tad. When you call my office, you speak to me. I personally build a personal relationship with you. I don't want to call and go, hey, yeah, you got referred by Walmart. I was going to see what you needed. Oh, well, Walmart said you'd do this. Well, I don't do that. Well, Walmart said you would. You should be over here. I'm evil Nancy. I'm just, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, listen, it's all about the money, though. Like, is
Yeah.
Walmart, are they charging $50 for the lead and it's your job now? If it is, great. Thank you for connecting me with the customer. But if you're
Yeah.
going, we're Walmart, we own Tad Heating and Cooling now. You know what I mean? We're going to connect you. They're going to take care of you. They signed a contract. No, thank you. So, I mean, I don't like it, but it's all in the details, really.
Yeah. I
Because
think
if John out here is trying his best to run his company, and he's a good person, or Ben out here is doing a good job, and he is working hard, and he's trying to take care of his family, and he's really offering good service, he's going to take care of my grandma, then he needs to take care of my grandma, not Walmart. You know?
Yeah, and Brian brought up a good point. There are people that, they would appreciate the dots being connected. I think at the end of the day, for me, it's always been, if I can't advertise, again, in some states, this isn't true for every state, but for some states, if I can't go advertising certain trades on the side of my van, unless I'm licensed and insured to do that, then I don't know that I feel great about anyone being able to offer that service, advertise for that service, unless they're jumping through the same hoops that us little guys have to do as well.
Mhm.
It's just my only argument to that.
I
I
like
get
the way you put that.
capitalism and all of that. Yep. Dave,
Yeah.
I know you don't know this guy, but there's a guy named Dave, big YouTube channel, really smart guy. He says, "What do you guys do for mental health?" You have answered this if you may have answered this. I chimed in late. Burnout is a real thing. What do you do,
For sure.
Tad?
For sure. Me, alcohol.
Yeah. You order a Jack and Coke and say, "Hold the Coke."
Dave, I'm gonna need you over here in a second. So you're going to have to wheelchair me out the door, okay? I mean, mental health, man. I mean, listen, um, the best thing that you can have is making somebody else feel good. And really, good relationships, man. Relationships. Having good relationships. It's like people I see in the gas station every day. My brother Parth in there, what I'm saying? Parth TV, if you've ever seen that. My little Indian friend. I love him. I love seeing him, but it's everybody I see. We have a personal relationship. And that's one thing that, you can go to bed every night and wake up, and do things you love, man. If you're not waking up and ready to go and excited, I mean, you got to change what you're doing. It's what you're doing. So do great things. Try to do good things that are gonna to not only help you but help others. Take breaks if you need to. Go spend time with your family. Try to tell somebody you love them and you appreciate them, and ask them if they need to go, try to go eat lunch with somebody you haven't eaten lunch with a while. I don't know. I mean, that's really how I do it. I mean, I care about what people, how people, not how people think of me. But it's, how I treat people, and our relationship. That's what I care about. I was about to get off on a whole nother thing. My mind was just like, I was about to. I almost did. You
Well,
saw me.
if you do, you
I,
do.
well,
But
I was
let
just
me
gonna
say
say.
this.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say this real quick. That I had a joke. And is it going to be funny if I tell you it's a joke? But Dave said, "What do I do for mental health?" I sell my company. That's what I did for my mental health. Uh, but
I got
the
you.
other thing, I'm one of those weirdos that says YOLO all the time. You only live once. And my gosh, if I mean, I don't want to get into any graphic or gory details, but something happened to our, a guy we know last week, and it was like, man, life is short, man. Go,
Oh yeah.
you better do something on your bucket list this next year, because you may not have a chance if you don't. And I don't care how young you are or old you are,
Oh yeah, for sure.
put some
Yeah, I
things on that
mean,
bucket list. But anyway, go ahead.
oh well, now I can just say we're all waiting to go, with you saying that. But I mean, what I was going to say is, I was trying to give some motivation to a friend of mine, and I was just telling him that you shouldn't care about what anybody thinks of you unless that there's somebody that takes care of you and helps you. And I was telling him how I don't help anybody who doesn't help themselves. But if you're trying to help yourself, I'm there to help you. But you shouldn't care about what anybody thinks. You got to think in your mind. You got to say, do they help me every day? Do they do something for me? And if they don't, then you know what I mean? Why? Who cares? And that's part of the reason that some people have a lot of stress in their lives. Because it's what somebody else said. That's for sure. I have two dirt bikes and I'd love to ride every week, but I always end up preoccupied with filming, editing. Quit filming so much, DIY HVAC guy Dave. You have so many videos. Slow down. No, I mean, listen, if you promise to do videos for people, keep up with it. Keep rocking and rolling. Keep doing it. Keep pushing in. You're young, man. But here's the thing. Just sit down and go, hey, 2 years. That's when I'm gonna just throttle back. 5 years, I'm gonna throttle back. At least have a goal and a range to where you can start throttling back. Don't sit there and look at your dirt bikes and think about riding one off a hill and just blowing it up because you can't ride it. You know what I mean? Like, you're
No,
so
I love
young,
this
man.
topic. That's exactly so that's it for me. If I have a light at the end of the tunnel, I have something to look forward to. Even when I owned my business, and there were days where I wanted to just pull all my hair out and jump off a bridge. If we would just book a cruise for next year, if I knew there was some light at the end of the tunnel, something I had fun coming up, planned already, for some reason, it just always seemed to help me get through. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with this horrible situation, but I can power through, because I know, next it ain't gonna be much longer, and somebody's gonna be grossed out when they see this half naked body laying on the beach.
Ooh,
So
I'm gonna get my gas leak detector. I'm just kidding.
uh
Like I said, I
man,
ride a one wheel.
the chat is piling up, man, and I am so sorry to everybody. There's just no way we're going to be able to get to every single question, but please don't stop. Please keep loading us up. Just some questions, we just may not get to, but just keep throwing them in there. Ryan wants to know that, well, he first says he loves your barn dominium videos, which I do too. That is something, I don't know if y'all are the only area in the country that does those, but I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
bet you're the only area or state that does as many as y'all do. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
they're, because I'm sure they do them in Texas and maybe even Montana, but you guys have them everywhere, and they're so cool. And
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting
anyway,
one Monday, but we're on several right now. I mean, I've got like 10 contractors, and, they're all building tons of houses. But yeah, a lot of barn dominiums we do, slab houses, And then, of course, you got a garage attached. Usually got attic trusses, and then you got this upper area. And usually people they don't use it for storage. They use it for an extra room, a bonus room usually. And we're doing different things with the HVAC. Usually I'll ask the homeowners, do you want to do the whole house? Because usually it's foam. Do you want to do the whole house with one unit? Do you want to have mini splits upstairs? Do you want to do 2 units? I really don't like doing 2 units. I don't ever do a zone system because I don't ever have to. It's just nonsense in a foam house when you got returns you can use and all that. So, or mini splits. I like mini splits. But yeah, we do a lot of barn dominiums, man. I do one every week or two. I'm starting a new one. It's cool. It's fun. It's the fact that I have the content out there to show the homeowner of the work we do. They don't have a question. I'm getting the job and going out there, and they know exactly what they're going to get before I even show up. So it's so nice.
Yeah.
And I'm usually leading, because most people that build houses, you might not know this, everybody out there, but they don't know what they're doing with everything yet. They see this nice plan of this house that they want, and it's got everything they need as far as the sections, but they have no idea of the construction process because they've usually got a general contractor. Those that know what they're doing, they either they sub everything out, they know who they're using, or they're doing most of it themselves. Plumbing, electrical, and some homeowners actually do the plumbing and electrical themselves, and that's usually what they do. They don't do anything else. And then there's options for sheetrock. You can get a Mexican crew and they can throw it up in one day, or you can get this other crew that can throw it up in 1 week. So, but yeah, I mean, for sure. What else you got?
Yeah.
Are you drinking Kool-Aid?
I'm drinking Crystal Light. Does that make me, do I sound like a tough guy when I say I'm drinking Kool-Aid?
Yeah. You like Bert Krish or Bert, what's his name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about taking my shirt off and.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, you should do that.
Let's see.
What else we got?
Yeah, the software I've been using, I've been having a hard time getting it to screen share for a while now. And I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong or something wrong with the software. But I was going to pull up the barn dominiums when we started talking about that. And anyway, the chat is seems to be pushing towards refrigerants and all the fun stuff that goes around that. You got any thoughts on all of that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like everything changing again, man. I mean, I've been through R22 and 410A, and I got, I don't ever talk politically, but I mean, I just like, why do you keep making all these refrigerants? Like, why do you keep changing everything? I don't like it because we're having to retool and buy the different vacuum pumps because you say we need it and all this crap. But I mean, and then pricing going up. Like, I don't think my customers deserve to pay more money for the same crap quality with some part that, will identify a leak. So, I mean, I don't like any of it. Like, as far as educational, I'll give you some advice educational, if that's what you want, but I don't like any of it, man. I'll be positive about it when I'm at work, I guess, and I'm doing it for the homeowner and I'm saying I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to, but from me to you and everybody out there, I don't like it. Is it a good change? Global warming potential. That's the only thing good we can say about it. Oh, it's better for the environment. But my concern, or my thoughts are, we're fixing to junk a bunch of equipment again. And this equipment's not going to last 10 years. I mean, it's not. My dad put in units and I took them out and they were 27 years old. I put in new equipment, 410A, it didn't last 6 months. I'm replacing coils and all this crap. And now we're going to change refrigerants. And what do you expect? You expect because the government comes in and they change the rules, right? And then the manufacturer's like, oh my goodness. They're freaking out trying to retool everything and get this equipment built. And then they stop production here. They start production here. They don't have enough time. I think this is the reason quality got so bad in the first place, honestly. You know, and then COVID hit, of course, and that's what, you know, ruined some things. But I don't know, man. We got all these different refrigerants, Joshua. Like when R22 was phased out, we got all these different refrigerants. You know, when 410A gets phased out, are we going to have a bunch more? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, is it just so that all these competitors can make money off their brand, their refrigerant? You know, it's just sad, man. I don't like it. Go ahead.
I think number one, I agree with most of what you said. I think that the most interesting thing for me personally was when I got into this trade, they had already started 410 had come out, but most everyone was still using R22 at the time. Um, and and that was the case for a while, right? There was a while there where you could buy either or, even if there towards the end you could buy a dry charged R22 system, but there was never at that time a that I remember and any sort of inkling of an idea that they were going to get rid of 410. They told us that it was God's gift to us, that it was so much better for the
Yeah.
environment than R22 was. And maybe just maybe it was when we talk about ozone, but uh it's just crazy to me,
Yeah.
that it's the other crazy thing about that whole deal is the fact that we did know what R32 was, and that's one of the refrigerants that are now new to us. Well, whether it's not new to us, we were using 410 that had R32 in it the whole time.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Yeah. That's a
I'll
sore
say
subject, man.
it is.
You know,
I'll
it's a
tell you
sore subject.
there's a lot of griping when I do my classes on A2L refrigerants. There's especially a lot of guys that have been doing this a while that, they just really bring their pitchforks and they're ready to go after somebody about it. My biggest quarrel with all of this, aside from everything we've talked about, is I don't know who at the EPA made the decision for us to do away with different colored jugs, but I don't understand that one. That one you lost me. Everything else you're selling me snake oil and maybe I'm listening and I'm drinking it. But gone are the days of pink jugs and blue jugs and green jugs and all these other
Mhm.
jugs. Now they're going to this light gray with a red stripe. I think it could be very easy for an apprentice, if no one else, even a veteran, but an apprentice to accidentally put the wrong refrigerant in a system. Were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say that there was had one sentence for the EPA, and that's really just smack yourself. You know, and honestly, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I will, is that if the EPA cared about the environment, they wouldn't allow refrigerant to be made. So there you go.
Well, they just recently, here's the other thing. By the way, for everyone, I'm sure the EPA, no one at the EPA is listening to little old me, but I reached out to
Mhm.
them. I reached out to them recently and I said, you know, I will give you the opportunity to get on your high horse or your soapbox and tell us why, you can, why, tell us what's up. Feel free to make it political or not make it political. Tell us what your side of the story is here and why things are going the way they're going and maybe enlighten us. And right at this point, no one has responded. If someone from the EPA does happen to see this, which I'm sure they won't, but let's just say they do, my goal is not to bring you on my show and, use that as the opportunity to be one of these, to be like, Barbara Walters and hit you with the tough
Mhm.
questions. That's not my goal. I,
Yeah.
I want to genuinely give you the opportunity to come on a channel, a YouTube show that other homeowners might catch and tell us why. What are we doing here? Tell us what's going
Yeah.
on.
I don't think that's going to happen because the EPA has been sued so many times, and they've been sued over this new refrigerant deal too. So reply, guys, whoever reads this, tell someone you love them before the night's over. Love you, brother. Love you, brother Dave. Take some time for yourself and do something kind for others every chance you get. That's awesome, Dave. Thank you, man. Have a good night, my friend. That's fantastic. That was so
Dave's good
nice.
peoples.
He is, man. He good
He's got a
people.
lot of haters out there, but he's good
He
peoples.
does. Hate on haters. You can't hate on Dave. Okay. That's cool. So,
uh
so what else we got for tonight? What do you want to talk about?
this chat, man, this is the might be
What
the
they
most
saying?
pop in this chat has been. There's guys getting mad, there's people arguing. I mean, it's getting crazy up in here. Let's switch gears. Do you want to talk about what you shared with me before the show? Are you interested
Yeah,
in
I mean, yeah, I mean,
sharing any of that?
there's this club called Teasers, and I work there on the weekends, and
I
I've
knew
got
it.
three nipples.
I knew that was you. I
I'm just
knew it.
kidding. No, man. Yeah, I mean, are you talking about just like the things I'm doing with my jobs or like different work I'm doing?
Yeah, yeah. You told me that you had taken a role and you were flying around the country and doing all kinds of crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So, I've had many opportunities as far as, job offers. And I recently visited this one company and I met like I didn't meet all 300 employees, but I met like, 50. And they were very, very happy. And their founder, they like love and respect their founder. And it was just really nice to see, like, the culture was really cool. And they offered me a job, and I couldn't take the job because I own my own company. And if I leave my company, then my employees don't have a job. And I've been here for a long time, and it's just not the right time for me. So, I basically, they kept in contact, and they reached back out and they changed things a little bit and said, hey, you can work remotely and help us with training, and you can come to Texas, once a month, and just basically whatever needs you know help as far as L&D, learning and development, tech support, then and it is really good opportunity. So
Nice.
because I like the technology, I like being on the front end of manufacturing, I like working for distribution, and I've always wanted to be at my own distributor. So yeah, so basically I installed a mini split. It's solar powered by Signature Solar, and I've like fell in love with the equipment and the fact that they made this inverter board and has this automatic transfer switch. It's got an MPPT in it, so it'll switch from DC to AC. And made a video, and they reached out to me and were like, "Hey, this is the guy that knows mini splits, and we should get him to teach our people." And it's right up my alley. So it gives me a challenge, gives me more material to read, to learn, and then to help others. So it's
Nice.
something I can work remote, and I can still own my company and do my thing. So yeah, I'm working with EG4 Electronics, and then I'm an affiliate of Signature Solar. If you guys need a solar powered mini split, check out Signature Solar and use discount code Taddy50 for $50 off. I had to throw that in. But yeah, that's
Nice.
really cool. I still build surgical slush machines for hospitals around the world. I still repair them, replace them. Um, I still do my YouTube, and then I own my business. So yeah, things are good, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Steve keeps asking about this. I don't know if you heard Bosch bought York. I've got a video that we should have
really.
out soon on that topic,
I
but
didn't know
it'll
that.
be interesting to see what happens on that front. Based on
Hmm,
what I know about both brands. So anyway,
that's
stay
pretty
tuned
cool.
on that. We'll give you a little wink on that one. Video coming very soon on that. I think that just came out yesterday, maybe, or day before yesterday. It was announced. So Steve is
Well,
getting some hot off the press stuff there.
well, Steve, let me tell you, I hope that their quality gets better because of this. And I'm not talking about Bosch.
No comment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to comment. I actually don't need to say nothing else about that.
Yeah, we're
So
not gonna mention any names. We just hope the quality is increased.
I hope
Um,
so.
Bosch has a reputation when it comes to appliances of being
Hmm.
better quality. So we'll see what that means for their product. What a lot of people don't know is they actually don't make some, if not most, of their HVAC products, but we'll see what that may change. Anyway, that's going to be a
What do you
part of
know? What do
that
you know,
upcoming video.
Joshua?
You gotta stay tuned. Video coming soon, folks. Stay tuned to the HVAC Guide for Homeowners YouTube channel.
Yes.
Anal.
No, shit.
What kind of echoes are going on in here?
I don't know, man. It's just bounced off. All right, what else you got?
Man, time is flying. We flew right past our normal segment that we normally do. Let me say real quick, we're about to do our goofy invention segment. But I don't think I shared on that poll that I did. And so the poll again was, do you think a company advertising services only to subcontract that work to others or get paid for the referral is okay? 14% said yes. 25% said only if they're licensed and insured for that service. And 61% of people said no. They do not think it's okay. And I got to tell you, I've done polls before. I don't do many, but I've had more people vote on that poll than any poll I've ever done. We had 138 people vote on that, which is really good for my little tiny channel. So I thought that was really cool. Let's change gears and run over to doing our what we call Josh's goofy inventions. So Tad, I hear you've got one. You've got a goofy invention to share with us. What is your goofy invention?
Air conditioned toilet.
Didn't you already tell me this one or no?
No. I never told you that one.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, I told you last time. I think I told you. Well, I don't know, but because I forgot. But I told you something different. Trust me.
Air conditioned toilet. So would it blow on your honey, or would the seat itself just get cold?
The seat would get cold.
Okay. Yep,
and you would have to poop faster, otherwise you're going to get a chill. You may get sick.
If it's blowing, if there's air movement, I can just think of some bathrooms in that situation, and you're going to be blowing that air around. Brian says a heated toilet seat. I think there is a such thing as a heated toilet seat out there.
Good idea, Brian. Good idea. I like it.
Yeah. I talked to somebody a week or two ago. I'm drawing a blank on who it was, but they were telling me, might have been one of our guests. They were telling me how much they love those air conditioners or heaters / heat pump, whatever, but those units that blow into their sheets.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen those?
I know what you're talking about. I've never considered that. I always thought that's a bad idea because if somebody farts, it's over. You know what I mean? But, but you know what? If you're the one that's got gas, it's good for you. So
there you go. Yeah, especially if you're an introvert.
There you go.
Clear the room.
Yes, sir.
Steve says it would be cool in the summer and hot in the winter, just like a heat pump. That toilet seat. See, we're expanding on this idea. One of these days, my goofy invention segment is going to make somebody rich, because I always think back to somebody sewing sleeves on a blanket and calling it the Snuggie and becoming a millionaire. We're going to come up with something one day,
One day, man.
You
got to have me on here again.
Toilet. Yes. The air-conditioned toilet. We'll call it the Taddy toilet.
Yes. The Taddy. The Taddy.
The Taddy.
There you go. Yes, man.
Oh,
what else?
Man. Let's do this. Let's see how are we doing on time? We've got 5 minutes. Let's do this. Right. We are going to open the floor. I do this every show. If you've never joined us before, or if you're one of the folks that join us often, do me a favor. I've got a big question for Tad that we're going to end the show with in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. But
All right.
do me a favor. One of the things we talk about on our show all the time is there are a lot of guys don't like that I mention it. Oh, you're making your brothers and sisters in the trade look bad. That's not my goal. But there are some bad apples in our industry. There's some scammers. There's some folks that make us all look bad. They almost make our trade feel dirty at times, right? We know there's some bad apples out there, but there's some good apples, Tad. You're one of them, right? There's some good folks out there. If you are in the chat and you know a good heating and air company, electrician, or plumber, any of those, you know a good company, drop their name and where they're located in the country in our chat. You're going to do a couple things. Number one, you're going to share some love to the good ones. But the second thing you're going to do, you never know, someone might see your comment. You might share more than love for that company. You might send a little business their way. So drop those companies in the chat and I'll highlight those and bring them up on the screen. I remember asking you this question last time, Tad, but I think you had a number of stories. I asked you, what's the craziest thing you ever saw in the industry? And I think you shared like 2 or 3 stories. And I was going to ask you if you could share one that maybe you didn't share before, if you got anything out of left field, anything crazy that the folks can just end the show with just something nuts.
Oh my God, you want something nuts? All right, I'll give you one. There was this customer. I went to her house one time, and I didn't know anything was wrong with her, and but the police department had been involved a couple times. And at one point, she was holding a knife in her room, and I had her on video camera because I have a pocket, like my shirts have pockets in them. So I had my camera in here, and I was videoing her for 20 minutes, like holding a knife and waving it around and talking really crazy, like not threatening me, but she was just, because I didn't know her. She just called us for service, but she said several crazy things. Like one, she took me to this wall where she had like written like hieroglyphs on the wall, because there was a bunch of stuff on there. And then the second thing was she took me to a light bulb and talked about how I was talking to her. And then she told me she buried bodies in the backyard, and then she was holding a knife. I went to the police department and I told them about it, and they were like, "You were where?" And I was like, "I was at this person's house." They were like, "Never go there again." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know this." Since then, I've seen her around town a couple times, and when I'd seen her, she was having like altercations with other people. Turns out she was on a type of medication that made her nuts.
Wow.
That's one really crazy story. Let me give you some others. I mean, I know what story I told you last time. I'll tell you some funny stuff. One time or 2 times, this was 2 times, and I still remember this. Is like yesterday. Carrier made a package unit back in the day, and it was a heat pump. And on the very top of the package unit, well, first of all, the fan was a side discharge fan in this Carrier, like purple looking package unit. I think it was purple or something, or blue. I don't know. Anyways, the top, you could take it off with screws, and there wasn't a fan attached to it. Well, I was working on this package unit on 2 different occasions, and when I screwed my hose on for my manifold gauge, I screwed it on too tight, and it broke off the service fitting in front of a customer twice.
Oh
This
my
is on 2
gosh.
different occasions, 2 different units, and it blew all the refrigerant out of the unit. And I did it
Oh
on
my
accident.
gosh.
Yeah, I've had that happen twice. Now, this was 15 years ago, but when I first started, but it was a great learning lesson. It's like, dude, don't tighten it all the way down. It's
Yeah.
just like the story I told you where I left the outlet screw on a gas valve loose on my first year of servicing. Remember, it lit and it blew the panels off the American Standard package unit. It caught the unit on fire and it smoked the lady's house up. It was pretty crazy. Cost about $2,000 worth of damage. That's a good one. Oh, I'll tell you a good one, actually. About 10 years ago, I hired a technician one time. We had a brand new install for a brand new house, beautiful house. There were 2 units there. His job was to go do the install and the startup. Not the install, but the startup. He went and did the startup, and he didn't wire the float switch in correctly. But Where he messed up was he didn't pull the brown cardboard piece out of the condensate pump. And
Wow.
whenever he left the house, it flooded the whole entire house and it cost us $20,000. We had to claim it on insurance. And
Oh my gosh.
we haven't had many claims on insurance less than my hand, less than 5. But that was a good one. But I mean, I could go on. I could tell you several stories, man. I have several.
Emery wants to know what brand of HVAC. Do you have a particular brand that you like?
Yeah, man. I do have a particular brand. But I like American Standard Commercial. I like American Standard Commercial, and I'll tell you this. This is the truth. I did a job. I do Hank Williams air conditioning. Not a big deal. It's just another person. But Hank Williams has people that work for him. Hank Williams Jr. does. My dad did his air conditioning before I did his air conditioning.
Wow.
He put it in his house originally. Put it in his house, and so I put a couple commercial units in his offices and his bus barn, and they were York. And his main guy reached out and he said, "Hey, I need a price on the office unit on the other side." I think it was like a 10-ton unit. Anyways, I got a video about it. You can actually check it out. But when they called me, they said, "Hey, we don't want York. We want American Standard Commercial." I said, "Okay." They said, we've had too many problems." I was like, "I totally understand. Got it." So I got American Standard. This is the first American Standard commercial I've installed in several years. Like, we did American Standard back in the day, 2009, right? We switched from American Standard because of our distributor, because we're loyal to them. But before that, they went with like a cheap TXV, and I changed like 120 in 1 year. I remember that. It was like 2009 area. Don't get off track, Tad. Come back.
Come on
So
back.
we installed. Come on back. So we installed this American Standard commercial unit, and when I get back to the job after my guys have installed it and they're starting it up, right? And I'm there for startup. The B&D team is what I call them because they're the best crew, man. They're awesome, right? The B&D team. I've got all my crews are fantastic, but my B&D team, they're good, man. So I get back and the B looks at me and is like, "Man, this equipment's nice." And the D, he asked me this question, these eyes. He says, why aren't we installing this equipment? And I'm like,
Everything
man,
changed.
whoa. I'm like, man, that's real. And I go over all the features in the video, and I'm like, comes with hail guards. It comes with these little hooks that hold the panels out so they don't swing and smack you while you're working on it. The compressors are up front. It's just everything has been thought about, and it's serviceable, and that's what matters in the industry. Is did you cater to the service tech? Did you cater to the installer? Because if you did, you're going to win. It's like making a cheeseburger, bro. It's like owning a restaurant. All you have to do is make it to where that cheeseburger, it's the best. You take a bite of it and you're just like, whoa. If you get that part down, the rest is over. And American Standard's got that with their commercial equipment. So
I
American
like.
Standard is commercial. You
Go
go
ahead.
ahead though, Joshua.
No,
No,
go
you go
ahead.
ahead. Okay, fine. And then mini splits would be Samsung because their R&D and their L&D is really good, and like their new equipment win-free model, they're doing stuff nobody's doing. And then their 360 cassette, nobody has one. That would be one. But then Signature Solar with the EG with the solar powered, that I love that. But I don't have a real like. But then Samsung's air handler with their multi-position air handler, the copper's thicker. There's way more screws with rubber washers, and it's like they're not going to wear out after taking the panel off 2 times. That's my go-to. But go ahead, brother.
No, all I was going to say is I really like that it sounds like it's not just you making the decision, that your team gets a say, because that's how I
Yeah.
was. A lot of folks that watch my show know that I drink the Daikin Kool-Aid. They're one of the sponsors on our YouTube channel, but way before that,
Mm-hmm.
they were who we sold at our company. And when we switched from another brand, I won't say who, to Daikin, um, we had a meeting. I was like, what do you guys think? And, you know, they got to say what they thought, you know, well, we like this, we may not like that. And, you know, this is quality, this, you know, this is better and whatever, you know. I really like that you brought that up, because I think that goes a long way too. You know,
Yeah.
they're the ones installing it. So
When I come to my business every day, when I come up to my crews and my people, I ask them one question. Everybody, every single day, and I ask it two or three times every day. I say, hey, it's just like if you were my coworker, you were my employee, Joshua. I say, Joshua, do you need anything? Do you need anything from me? Do you need my help? Do you need anything? That's it, man. It's not about me. It's about them. Whatever they need. Because at one time, and I'm so stubborn and I'm so hard-headed that I'll go out here and I'll try to do it all myself. I'll do every bit of it. Out of sure pride, I'll do every bit of it. I will be the island. If I need to be the island, I'll do your job and my job and her job and his job. I'll do it all. I will literally run myself in the ground, you know, but that's not what a business owner is supposed to do. You are supposed to give people their opportunity to be who they can be, and that will make your business what your business can be. So it's all about a team.
I like it. I like it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to wrap up with that. Next week, folks, we will be back 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the second coolest. Tad is the coolest. Second coolest guest we've ever had. Way cooler than me. I can definitely say that. 8:30 p.m. Make sure that you are subscribed to the new channel. Next week is it. Next week is the last time you will see this face on the HVAC Guide for Homeowners YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to HVAC Guide Live Show channel. That said, make it a great week. We'll see you then.